Katarina Leigh Waters is a German-born English professional wrestler, valet and actress. She is best known for her time in World Wrestling Entertainment as Katie Lee in Total Nonstop Action Wrestling as Winter. Prior to signing with WWE, she spent many years on the independent circuit, particularly in the Frontier Wrestling Alliance, where she used the ring name Nikita. After signing with WWE, she competed in their former developmental territory Ohio Valley Wrestling, where she became a two-time women's champion before being called up to the main roster. After being released from WWE in April 2010, Waters joined TNA in August 2010, adopting the new ring name Winter. During her first year in TNA, she managed to win both of the promotion's women's championships, first teaming with Angelina Love to win the Knockouts Tag Team Championship in December 2010 and then winning the Knockouts Championship in August 2011. Professional wrestling career. Early career. At a young age, Waters read an article about the main event of WrestleMania 6 and believed the Ultimate Warrior's mysterious origins to be true. When she came to England at 18, she was under the impression that wrestling companies only existed in America until she saw a local show advertised in London. However, the show style was catered more towards British wrestling than sports entertainment, and Waters once again retired thoughts of becoming involved in wrestling until she saw Alex Shane and Dominator on the Jerry Springer Show with their more outrageous gimmicks and became interested again, seeking out National Wrestling Alliance UK Hammerlock and being trained by John Ryan. Originally, Waters used the name Kat, but after Stacey Carter began using this name in the World Wrestling Federation, she changed her name to Nikita after the television program La Femme Nikita. After being trained, Waters made her debut in February 2000 on ITV Meridian's Transatlantic Wrestling Challenge, a tournament between British and American wrestlers of the NWA where she won the Women's Championship. Frontier Wrestling Alliance. Feud with the family. After starting her wrestling career, Waters sought the Frontier Wrestling Alliance and began training with Alex Shane, who inspired her on the Jerry Springer Show. With Shane she began hosting a talk radio program on TalkSport, which helped FWA gain national notoriety among the wrestling community. Because of her association with the show, she was placed on the card for their February 2002 event, Revival, where she lost to Lexi Fife. However, the match was badly reviewed backstage and Waters began training twice a week to improve herself. To keep exposure while improving her in-ring skills, she began to frequently tag team with fellow newcomer Haide Vanson in mixed tag team matches, including a match against British female veteran Sweet Saraya, until August when she impressed with a singles match against Paul Treville. This led to a feud where Treville dominated until the end of 2002, but in the first FWA event of 2003 Nikita picked up her first singles victory in the company over Treville and went on a singles winning streak for a month until she lost in her third bout against Andy Simmons. While Nikita had become successful as a solo wrestler, however, her rivalry with Treville had escalated when he became part of the family, a group of villainous wrestlers who became FWA Tag Team Champions. The feud escalated after Nikita and Shane failed to win the Tag Team Championship a number of times and led to one of Waters' most famous moments in wrestling when, at the Frontiers of Honor co-held with American promotion Ring of Honor in May, Alex Shane, Ulf Herman, and Nikita took on the family in a hardcore six-man tag team match. Though the family won, Nikita gained notoriety when she jumped from the top tier in the arena onto the ground, landing on the family, and their feud ended. Waters spoke about this moment in Alternative Wrestling magazine, saying, "So the crowd saw what I was about to do and started reacting and cheering before I had even done anything, and just that moment standing up there in the light and hearing that was, well, let's just say I wanted to stay up there forever." It was later announced to be the 10th most memorable moment of the FWA's first decade in their YouTube Top 20 countdown. Sporadic appearances. With her rivalry against the family over, Nikita began a new storyline where an anonymous bounty had been put on her head. As she took on all comers trying to claim the bounty, Nikita went undefeated in the rest of 2003 and 2004, including her favorite match against Darren Burridge in March 2004. By June 2004 she had faced and defeated most of the company's major wrestlers, which led to the return of the World Association of Wrestling's veteran Sweet Saraya, who revealed the bounty had been placed on Nikita by the jealous ring announcer, Jane Childs. Saraya claimed the bounty within non-sanctioned assault on Nikita, delivering a tombstone piledriver at the Carp Diem event, putting Nikita out of action for months and off the FWA roster for over a year. She returned in October 2005 in a losing effort against Simply Luscious. She was victorious on the next show in a six-man tag team match, with her and Luscious on opposing teams. Though Nikita would not wrestle after this point, she realigned herself with former tag team partner Haid Vanson, and at New Frontiers 2006 helped him win the FWA British Heavyweight Championship in a five-way event featuring Joe Legend, Alex Shane, Jody Fleisch, and Johnny Storm. She remained at Vanson's side until June's FWA vs All-Star Wrestling event year, when she announced her retirement from the company, as she had been scouted for World Wrestling Entertainment and sent to Ohio Valley Wrestling for training. International circuit. In 2005 she flew to France to take part in the Fighting Spirit Federation's subordinate promotion Queens of Chaos. In an exhibition match she aligned herself with German wrestler Sick in a losing tag team effort to Kid Cash and Trinity. However, in the Queen of the Rumble match with the World Queen of Chaos Championship on the line, she entered second and became the winner, besting competition from England, Ireland, America, and Japan. She defended the title all over France and in Switzerland until almost exactly a year later when, after defending the belt against Sky in a 2 out of 3 falls match, she announced she had exclusively signed with WWE and had to relinquish the title undefeated. During her time on the continent she made a guest appearance in German Stampede Wrestling, losing to Wessner with Nora Greenwald as referee International Impact 3. She returned to GSW for Night in Motion 7, A Few Good Men in July 2006 to take on the promotion's other premier female wrestler and namesake, Blue Nikita. The Greek Nikita won the match, and since then Waters has used the name Katie Leigh instead. Just before she lost her Nikita name to Blue Nikita, Waters took part in the videotapings for Shimmer Women Athletes in May 2006. Playing a fan favorite in Volume 5, she defeated Lacey, but then for Volume 6 became a villain by using underhanded tactics and was pinned by DZ Hayes. Ohio Valley Wrestling. After relocating to the United States, Waters began using the ring name Katie Leigh, having lost a match to Greek wrestler and namesake Blue Nikita. Nicknamed the Cat to go with her original ring name, she made her debut with a dark match victory over Melody on August 23. A week later she teamed with ODB to make her television debut, losing to Beth Phoenix and Serena. At the time ODB, seeing herself as the best wrestler in OVW, created the OVW Women's Championship for herself and defended it in a battle royal, in which Leigh unsuccessfully participated. On September 13 she had another chance in a four-way match, but Serena won the belt, besting Leigh, Phoenix, and ODB. Her next title opportunity, on October 11, ended in disqualification when an angry Serena, who had lost the belt to Phoenix, interrupted her three-way match, also including ODB. Leigh consoled herself by winning a Halloween costume contest. The day after Halloween saw the OVW Women's Championship contested in a gauntlet match, which Leigh won by last pinning Serena, earning her first Women's Championship. She held the title for 212 days, giving her the longest single and combined reigns until Melody went over that mark in June 2009. Phoenix did not take her loss well, as it was not in a straight singles match, and tried to earn a rematch but lost to Leigh in a mixed tag team match the following week, with El Aero Fuego and Charles Evans as their respective partners. Leigh tried to defend her belt against Serena, but the match ended in disqualification when a jealous Phoenix attacked Serena for having a chance before her, and so on November 22 the three were put in a no disqualification non-title match which Serena won. Having already defended her belt against Serena, though, Leigh continued to defend against newcomers, such as ODB and Jennifer Fitt. She also began to host an in-ring talk segment entitled Cat's Cradle. After this match, on December 6, Phoenix made her way to the ring and announced herself as still being champion with her own belt. troubleshooter, or authority figure, Danny Basham announced that as ODB had created the belt for herself, neither belt was official but promised to settle the matter. At the 13th December OVW television tapings, he announced that the dispute would be settled in OVW's first ladies ladder match and the winner would be officially recognized as women's champion. In the last television episode of 2006, Leigh climbed to the top of the ladder to retrieve both belts and become the undisputed OVW Women's Champion as the year closed. Their feud closed on the first episode of 2007 when Basham went to present the OVW Women's Championship, giving it official recognition in the company, only for Phoenix to snatch it from him. However, this proved to be a show of sportsmanship as Phoenix presented the belt to Leigh herself in recognition of their competitive ladder match. She then began a feud with Cherry Pie after two successful title defenses against her resulted in an assault from Pie's stablemates the Untouchables until John Boland and Ryan Reeves saved her. Days later at a non-televised event, Leigh and Boland defeated Cherry and Domino in a mixed tag match. However, the televised rematch was a 3-on-2 handicap with all three Untouchables defeating Leigh and Boland. At the end of January, all the women in OVW competed in a 2-out-of-3 tug-of-war, which Leigh was on the winning side. This led to the Miss OVW competition, which saw the women compete in a variety of competitions and matches, with ODB gaining the crown on March 21. After this, ODB picked up a non-title victory on April 11 and win by disqualification the following weekend with a Battle Royal victory earned herself contention for the title. On June 1, ODB brought Leigh's reign as champion to an end in singles action at OVW Six Flags. After a series of mixed tag team contests between the two, ODB retained her title in a three-way match also featuring Victoria Crawford on July 21. She pinned Phoenix in August for another shot at the belt but came up short at the end of the month. Milena Ruka then won the belt from ODB in a six-way dark match, in which Leigh participated. After defeating Ruka twice in non-title matches in late October, Ruka attacked Leigh in a game of duck, goose and subsequently defeated Leigh in a Kiss My Foot match in December to retain the title. In 2008, Leigh began receiving presents from a secret admirer, including a telegram, flowers, and an outfit. By late February, Paul Burchill revealed himself to be her admirer and helped her win the Women's Championship for the second time. She lost the title a week later to Josie in a dark match because WWE had severed ties with OVW and called her up to their programming. World Wrestling Entertainment /WWE Debut and Championship Pursuits. Waters made her television debut on February 11 Raw as the on-screen sister of fellow FWA alumnus Paul Burchill, becoming Katie Leigh Burchill. The two displayed early signs of a gimmick based around incest, with Paul using the catchphrase, "Whatever Katie wants, Katie gets." At WrestleMania XXIV, Leigh was one of the Lumberjills in the Playboy Bunny Mania match, in which Beth Phoenix and Melina defeated Maria and Ashley. After appearing alongside Burchill on WWE Heat, Leigh made her in-ring television debut on the 28th April episode of Raw, defeating Super Crazy in an intergender handicap match along with Burchill. On May 19, on Raw, she had a confrontation with the women's champion, Mickie James, where she insinuated James had used her relationship with John Cena to sleep her way to success. 2 weeks later, Leigh teamed up with Beth Phoenix in a winning effort, defeating James and Melina, in which she pinned James. On June 16 episode of Raw, Leigh and Burchill defeated James and Mr. Kennedy in a mixed tag team match, where Leigh pinned James a second time, thus earning a title shot at the Night of Champions pay-per-view. Leigh challenged Mickie James for the WWE Women's Championship but was unsuccessful in capturing the title. On the 14th July episode of Raw, Leigh once again challenged James for the Women's Championship, but was unsuccessful. After she and her brother beat James and Kofi Kingston, she received another chance at James' title in August but failed to win. She closed out the year by appearing tag team matches, regularly teaming with Jillian Hall. On the last Raw of the year, she made her final appearance in a battle royal to determine the next challenger for the Women's Championship, which was ultimately won by Melina. Brand switches. 2 days later, on December 30, It was revealed that Leigh and Burchill had been moved to the ECW brand, but failed to make an impression, with Burchill losing to continue DJ Gabriel's winning streak. Going into 2009, Leigh made a better impact in her ECW on Sci-Fi debut with a win against Gabriel's partner Alicia Fox. However, the Burchills lost a tag team match against Gabriel and Fox the following week. On April 5, 2009, she competed in the 25 Diva Battle Royal at WrestleMania XXV, but the match was won by Santina Marella. Leigh wrestled again in July 2009 against the newly drafted Bella Twins. First facing Nikki, Katie took the advantage, but Nikki swapped places with her twin sister, fooling both Katie and the referee, causing Katie to lose. 2 weeks later on WWE Superstars, the twins made the same switch in reverse order after the referee could not differentiate between the two, and Leigh lost again. From August towards the end of 2009, Paul became embroiled in a rivalry with backstage interviewer Gregory Helms, over whether he was also in-ring performer the Hurricane. They agreed to settle the matter in a match on November 17 CCW, which saw Hurricane's mask put up against Burchill's career on the ECW brand. Despite many attempts, Paul could not secure the pin and subsequently lost the match, resulting in both he and Katie Leigh leaving ECW. The following week on ECW, Katie Leigh and Paul, now sporting masks and calling themselves the Beautiful Nightmare and the Ripper, respectively, appeared in a backstage segment with general manager Tiffany and asked for a contract, which Tiffany said they would receive if the Ripper could defeat the Hurricane the next week on ECW. However, the Ripper was unmasked by Hurricane and subsequently defeated in their match, resulting in Katie and Burchill remaining off ECW. On January 11, 2010, Leigh moved back to the Raw brand without her brother Paul Burchill, by competing in a first-round tournament match for the vacant Divas Championship but lost to Eve Torres. At the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, Katie Leigh teamed up with Maryse, Natalya, Hall, and Alicia Fox in a losing effort to the team of Kim, Kelly, Eve Torres and the Bella Twins. On February 26, Paul was formally released by WWE, leaving Katie to appear on her own, but she was released from her WWE contract 2 months later, on April 22. Total Nonstop Action Wrestling . After her release from WWE, Waters briefly returned to the independent circuit, wrestling under the ring name Cat Lanois. On August 23, 2010, Waters wrestled in a tryout dark match for Total Nonstop Action Wrestling at the tapings of their Impact television show, losing to Madison Rayne. It was reported on October 15 that TNA had signed her to a contract. Waters debuted on October 21 episode of Impact, using the name Winter, admiring Angelina Love during a backstage segment in a somewhat supernatural appearance. After weeks of appearing only in front of Love, Winter was seen for the first time by other Knockouts on November 25 episode of Impact, when she saved Love during a large backstage brawl. On December 9 at the tapings of the 23rd December episode of Impact, Winter replaced an injured Velvet Sky and teamed with Love in a tournament final, where they defeated Madison Rayne and Tara to win the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship. On the edition of January 13 of Impact, Angelina and Winter successfully defend their championship against Madison Rayne and Tara after Winter knocked out Tara with a Dragon Sleeper. On the edition of January 27 of Impact, Winter brawled with Velvet Sky, who claimed she was trying to break up the Beautiful People. On the edition of March 3 of Impact, Cookie and Robbie aligned themselves with former Jersey Shore cast member Angelina Pivonic, with whom they bonded through their mutual dislike of Jenny JWOWW Farley, whom Pivonic proceeded to challenge to a match. The following week, Winter, Angelina Love and Velvet Sky defeated Cookie, Angelina Pivonic and Sarita in a 6-knockout tag team match. Winter and Love lost the Knockouts Tag Team Championship to Mexican America on March 13 at Victory Road, after an interference by Velvet Sky backfired. On the following episode of Impact, Winter and Angelina Love teamed up with Matt Morgan where they defeated Mexican America in a 6-person street fight. After the match, the fan, who had interfered in Morgan's match at Victory Road, once again entered the ring and attacked Morgan. on the edition of March 24 of Impact. Winter, seemingly having control over Love's actions, prevented her from saving Sky from a beatdown at the hands of Sarita and Rosita, turning her heel in the process. On the edition of April 7 of Impact. Love, still under Winter's spell, turned on Sky during a Knockouts Tag Team Championship match against Sarita and Rosita and left her to be pinned by the champions. On the edition of June 23 of Impact Wrestling, Winter defeated TNA Women's Knockout Champion Mickie James in a non-title street fight, following outside interference from Love, earning her a shot at James' Knockouts Championship. On August 7 at Hardcore Justice, Winter defeated James, with help from Love, to win the TNA Women's Knockout Championship for the first time and become the first British Women's Knockout Champion. With the win, Winter became the sixth TNA Knockout to have held both the Knockouts Championship and Knockouts Tag Team Championship. On August 25 at the tapings of the edition of September 1 of Impact Wrestling, Winter lost the Women's Knockout Championship back to Mickie James, ending her reign at just 18 days. On September 11 at No Surrender, Winter regained the title from James. On October 16 at Bound for Glory, Winter lost the title to Velvet Sky in a four-way match, which also included Madison Rayne and Mickie James and was refereed by Karen Jarrett. On January 12, 2012 episode of Impact Wrestling, Winter lost to ODB. After saving ODB from Love and Winter, Eric Young was challenged by Love to a match. Young won the match via disqualification, after Love kicked him in the groin. This led to a tag team match, on January 26 episode of Impact Wrestling, with Love and Winter losing to ODB and Eric Young. Winter and Love appeared together for the first time in 5 months, on June 14, at a TNA house show in Belton, Texas, when they teamed up with Rosita and Sarita in a losing effort against Mickie James, Tara, and Velvet Sky in the main event 4-on-3 handicap match after Sky pinned Rosita for the win. Waters left TNA shortly afterward. Returned to independent circuit. On February 25, 2011 Waters made her debut at World Independent Ladies Division in an in-ring segment with Tab Jackson and Aiden Riley. On August 4, 2011, Waters defeated Tab Jackson in a no-holds-barred match to win the vacant Wild World Championship. On December 10, 2011 Winter defeated Terra. This match was later named 2011 Match of the Year. On February 2, 2012 she became the longest reigning champion with her reign surpassing the previous record of Lucky O'Shea's 182 days. On May 14, 2011 at the FWE Meltdown pay-per-view, Waters made her debut for Family Wrestling Entertainment, defeating Rosita. At the FWE Empire City Showdown pay-per-view, on September 20, 2011, Winter defeated Rosita with Christy Hem as the special guest referee. At the FWE Fallout pay-per-view, on November 15, 2011, Winter defeated Rosita with Christy Hem as the special guest referee. At the FWE Hostility pay-per-view, on December 15, 2011, Winter defeated Jackie Haas. Then, at FWE No Limits, Winter defeated Brooke Tessmacher in the first round, before losing to Maria Kanellis, after the interference from TNT, in a tournament to determine the first ever FWE Women's Champion. Month later, on March 24, Waters defeated Maria and fellow TNA knockout Rosita in a 3-way match to win the FWE Women's Championship for the first time. On April 28, Waters defeated Melina with Lita as the special guest referee to retain the FWE Women's Championship. Later Maria challenged Winter to a rematch and Winter accepted. On July 28, 2012 episode of FWE Wrestling, Winter dropped the FWE Women's Championship back to Maria Kanellis, making Maria a 2-time champion. On October 4, 2012 at the Back to Brooklyn pay-per-view, Waters, under the name Katarina Leigh, teamed up with Maria in losing effort to the Beautiful People in a tag team match. After the match ended, Waters was attacked by the evil Ivelisse Velez, who was making her FWE debut. Winter made her debut for House of Hardcore, on October 6, 2012 at the promotion's first show, where she lost to Jazz in a singles match. Under the name Katarina Leigh, She participated in Pro Wrestling Syndicate's Bombshells Championship tournament, making the final where she was eliminated last by Missy Sampson in a four-way elimination match. Personal life: Waters was born and raised in Germany before relocating to England to attend university. Waters graduated with a Bachelor of Arts with honours in film and drama. She is fluent in both languages. As well as wrestling, Waters had a small career in film, directing the British independent film Welcome to Holland, acting in Utopian Pictures' Tough Justice as Tara Hunt and as stripper number 1 in Viono.com film 24 Hours in Las Vegas, Zoe and Go Green, Valerie in Bad Pixel, and as the Serpent Queen in the 2012 film Amanda and the Guardian, which was never released. Waters also appears, along with Shelly Martinez, in the music video for Miss Outta Control by Electrolyz. Her biggest influence in the wrestling world is Kevin Nash. As well as film, Waters has made some small television appearances. She appeared full nude on stage on Naked Comedy at the CAP Theatre. Also appeared on the pilot showcase program Comedy Lab in 2002. Her role saw her performing wrestling moves during Karma Chameleon, as sung by the then relatively unknown Russell Brand. In 2003, she appeared on an episode of Fort Boyard under her ring name Nikita. As she was appearing in the Frontier Wrestling Alliance at the time, her teammates included Doug Williams, Paul Burchill and World Association of Wrestling's Sweet Saraya. Waters' favorites are wrestlers Johnny Storm, Darren Burridge, Alex Shane, television shows La Femme Nikita and Smallville. Waters also cited that I am totally obsessed with Lex Luthor. Waters has studied film and drama for 3 years. In wrestling, finishing moves, as Cat Waters, Icebreaker, Neckbreaker onto the knee. As Winter, Blood Mist, Swinging Side Slam, dropped into a Blackbreaker. As Katie Leigh, Hair Pull Backbreaker. As Nikita, Side Slam Backbreaker, Swinging Neckbreaker onto the knee. Signature moves, Backbreaker, Bow and Arrow Stretch, Nzwigiri, Missile Dropkick, Northern Lights Suplex, Samoan Drop. With Angelina Love, Double Team finishing moves, Botox injection / Samoan Drop combination. Managers, Angelina Love. Wrestlers managed, Hayde Vanson, Paul Burchill / The Ripper, Angelina Love. Nicknames, The Cat, The Queen of Chaos, The English Beauty, The Mysterious Woman, The British Vixen. Entrance themes, Hurt You by Jim Johnston Feet. Chibi, Hands of Wicked performed by Goldilocks and composed by Dale Oliver. Championships and accomplishments. British Independent Circuit, British Women's Championship. Family Wrestling Entertainment, FWE Women's Championship. Ohio Valley Wrestling, OVW Women's Championship. Pro Wrestling Illustrated, PWI ranked her number 18 of the best 50 female singles wrestlers in the PWI Female 50 in 2012. Queens of Chaos, World Queens of Chaos Championship. Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, TNA Knockouts Championship, TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship a Euro with Angelina Love, TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship Tournament a Euro with Angelina Love. Transatlantic Wrestling, TWC Women's Championship. World Independent Ladies Division Wrestling, Wild World Championship, Wild Warrior of the Year, Wild Match of the Year vs. Tara Calaway. References. External links. Katarina Waters at the Internet Movie Database, TNA Wrestling Profile, Katarina Waters GLORY. Profile, Online World of Wrestling Profile.